It's Wednesday, August 8th, 2018, and here are some of today's trends in the news. August 8th, 2018. On August 18th, I'm going to be in Washington, D.C. at Ron Paul's Peace and Prosperity Conference, talking about the media and war. So we'd love to see you over there. Still time to sign up. Go to ronpaulinstitute.org. and you'll get more information. Now, moving on to some other trends, because, hey, war's every day, so we'll go on to something else right now, and that's the markets. Over there in Asia, Nikkei down, Shanghai down, Hang Seng up. That Shanghai, boy, no one's talking about it. Boop! Another day deeper in bear territory. Not doing so good over there. And the FTSE, it's up a little bit. DAX and CAC are down. Here in the States, Dow's down a little bit. NASDAQ's up a little bit. Oil down a lot, about 3%. And gold up a tiny bit. But Bitcoin, bada boom, bing, down. And you know our forecast. We've been saying this for quite a while, months, that Bitcoin had to stay above $11,000 per coin to gain strength. Has not been able to do that. So now where is it going? Well, here's where it's going. Trend alert, trend alert. Cryptocurrency bubble bust. Here's the trend. So we're seeing what's happening. These cryptocurrencies are going down big numbers over 24 hours. So what's the future? Well, we brought in an expert that knows the data, knows the charts, knows the trades. Jonathan Chow. And his charts and algorithms are showing that, read what it's all about. It's in your trend alert. And moving on to the stock market. There's a little change today. And the big news is China announced a 25% charge on $16 billion worth of U.S. goods. $16 billion worth of U.S. goods. China has a trade surplus with the United States of $375 billion a year. This is peanuts. This isn't affecting the markets. What's affecting the markets is that nearly 90% of S&P 500 companies have released their calendar second quarter. Of those companies, 76.36% have reported better than forecast profits. If the earnings season ends with at least 80% of the companies beating estimates, it would mark the first time that that's happened since FactSet started tracking the data in 2008. 2008, the panic of '08. This market, all of the markets, are only being fueled by cheap dough. You're looking at stock buybacks this year in the United States, now estimated to hit $1 trillion. Apple alone, $100 billion in stock buybacks. Wonder why the stock keeps going up. Yeah, other things are good, but that's gooder. And so when we're looking at these kind of revenue numbers, that's what's keeping the markets alive. And we have a 24% increase in earnings and a 9% gain in revenues. So all the talk about tariffs and trade wars, you know what that is.
That was bullshit.
And that's all it is. Oil prices, they fell sharply on Wednesday. And again, more
Bullshit detected. Take precautions.
hammered by escalating trade disputes between the United States and China. No, not at all. What's going on is you have a smaller than anticipated drop in American crude stockpiles, and you have stockpiles of gasoline and distillates, which include diesel and heating oil, rose more than expected. So we had U.S. gasoline futures falling 3.8%. So right now there's more supply than demand. We have to see what's going to happen with Iran, but those sanctions aren't going to hit on the oil front until November. And gold. Well, gold is just flat. It's around that $1,200 mark where we said is the bottom, and we're the first to say it. I've been saying it now, as you well know, as Trends Journal subscribers for well over probably 2 years now. And that's where we're at. It's the same story. The higher interest rates go, the stronger the dollar goes, the lower gold goes, except, of course, if there's Iran in the picture. Because if things start heating up in the Middle East and those oil prices reverse and start heading toward that $80 a barrel mark, then you're going to see a big shift, not only in equity markets, but in gold prices going up. And what's going down? Weekly mortgage applications fall as home prices climb. I wonder why. Couldn't be because those interest rates are going up. Well, no, because home prices are climbing. So total mortgage application volume fell 3% from the previous week and 17% from a year ago. Applications to purchase a home fell 2% for the week and down 2% from a year ago. Soaring home prices are sapping mortgage demand. In June, home prices rose 6.8%. Overall, mortgage applications fell for the third straight week, and mortgage applications to refinance a home have dipped 5% from the previous week to their lowest point since December 2000, and that's down 35% from a year ago. Again, higher interest rates. That's what's slowing down the global economy. The currencies are going down as the U.S. dollar is getting stronger. They have to pay for most of these commodities in dollars, like oil. So when you look at the overall data, the problems in China, they're not going to raise interest rates in Europe until when? 2019? In the summer of 2000, maybe. So that's where we're at. And the other reason why people can't afford to buy homes as prices go up is because wages stink. That's right. Where'd they go up? 2.7% or something in the last quarter? It's way below real inflation. And this is a trend that's been going on. According to some research, middle-class life is now 30% more expensive than it was 20 years ago. The cost of public universities doubled between 1996 and 2016. Oh, yeah, the prices doubled, and the education you got is shrunk by a long shot. Because look at the lousy jobs that people are getting, and look at the lack of skills that they have in so many fields that they can use jobs in. Gender studies, that's an important one. Yeah, keep going. All right. Home prices in major cities have quadrupled. Many families are putting up to 30% of their annual earnings toward child care. About 4 in 10 Americans hold some kind of second job, according to a Bankrate survey. And among millennials, that rate is even higher, with over half, 51%. Americans born in the 1940s had a 92% chance of making more money than their parents. Millennials born in the 1980s have only a 50% chance of doing the same, according to a study by the Equality of Opportunity Project. So, moving on and seeing where things are going and why the markets are going up, Packagers put $6.8 billion deal in the bag. Amcor Limited agreed to buy the packaging competitor Bemis for $6.8 billion. Mergers and acquisitions and stock buybacks, because there's a slowdown going on. The fall in China's yuan is more than just about Trump. And here we go. It's down, by the way, 8% decline. Since April, China's current account surplus was just $5.8 billion in the latest quarter, well down from an average quarterly surplus closer to $70 billion in 2015. The main reason? Net service imports that have nearly tripled since 2013. It's no great mystery why. Consumption accounted for just 50% of Chinese growth 5 years ago. In the latest quarter, it made up nearly 80% of China's expansion. All right, it's not about tariffs. It's about a country that pumped zillions of yuans into the economy following the crash in 2008, the panic, and they have debt levels that they can't deal with and major problems. China's Belt and Road project drives debt fears. Not only debt fears from China building their Belt and Road initiative, but the countries that are part of it. And they got a bunch of them here: Montenegro, Cambodia, Sri Lanka, Pakistan. A lot of debt, a lot of money being spent at a time when economics are not looking so good in China and other places. Here we go. China should not reopen the spigot of easy money. This is an editorial in the Financial Times. Its corporate sector is the world's most indebted and most highly leveraged. Again, it has a debt to GDP ratio. It was 171 before the panic of 08. Now you're looking at 300. What's everybody talking about? All those environmentalists. Big story time and time again. Plastic straws are now utensil non grata. Or in some of the companies, it's the last straw. Companies across the U.S. have pledged to phase out plastic straws. Plastic straws, yeah, the straw that didn't break the camel's back. What a bunch of...
Oh, come on now. That ain't even bullshit. That's horse shit.
It's horseshit. You got plastic and everything. Plastic containers here and there, plastic bags with dirt in them, plastic bags, plastic covering everything you could look at, and you're talking about straws like it's going to make a difference? Here, you want to know where plastics are going? Check out this story in the Trends Journal. And moving on to some other news. California combats 16 wildfires, and now it's up to 18. California wildfires merge into the state's largest. Wildfire in Portugal surges into its fourth day. I mentioned this, I'm talking about plastics, story in the Trends Journal. People say, there's no such thing as climate change. There's no such thing as global warming. Great. And you know what I say. If you dump trillions of tons of poisons into the earth, into the water, and into the air, you think it'll have any negative effect? Nah. Yeah, drink it up. Eat it. Feed it to your kids. Poison's good for you. We don't have enough research that chemicals kill. This is Gerald Celente.